Dallas. Allison Williams is with us as well. These two teams, Jay, have played so many fun matchups recently, and so often the key to these games has been whose style of play prevails.
Yeah, establishing your tempo, and it's not just the tempo of the game up and down, it's the tempo within each possession, and Indiana wants to try to spread out this Wisconsin team, and they want to get the ball into the paint, get to the free throw line, but they also want to get up and down the floor. I'm ready for any kind of tempo, Dave Fleming. My head's on a swivel.
We are ready to go. Tom Crean, for a guy who, and look, Indiana fans have been known to overreact a little bit. They are very passionate about their team, panicking a little bit about what's happened with the Hoosiers. Greg Gard, he's got the Badgers playing well. You were in Maui, you saw their last loss against North Carolina. They weren't playing particularly well at that point. They're a different team now.
They are a different team, in large part because Nigel Hayes has been a different player. He's not taking quite near as many threes. He's almost half his shots were threes when they were in Maui, and that has changed.
Indiana controls the ball first, so the Hoosiers have it, playing at home. Their home court winning streak last week came to an end. It was sort of in shocking fashion. Thomas Bryant and Koenig came down with the help, stole the ball away.
Just too slow getting in that move for Thomas Bryant, and Bronson Koenig was able to just take that away from him. He's got to see that coming.
We will talk about turnovers a lot. They have plagued Indiana.
Good ball movement.
A little fumble on the catch. Vito Brown otherwise might have had a clear look from three. Happ underneath the basket. He is so good around the rim.
Ethan Happ is the second leading rebounder in the Big Ten, and he has got Kevin McHale's feet along the baseline. Great footwork.
Very high praise. And a heck of a matchup with Thomas Bryant and Happ. Here's James Blackman going baseline. The three on the way is well short. Rebound Badgers.
Now, this Indiana team, Dave, takes a lot of threes, but they want to be able to get the ball into the paint. Not just get it inside, but drive it. And that way they can get to the free throw line. But they want to also get fouled on cuts. They don't feel like they made as hard a cuts as they would normally make when they played in the ball game against Louisville and Nebraska.
Koenig contested three is good.
Now, Josh Newkirk had his hand down, and if you don't have your hand up, Bronson Koenig is going to pull the trigger on that standstill jumper. Good start for the Badgers.
Wisconsin's offense, you mentioned the shot selection with Hayes, and it's been others as well. Their offense has been so good. That's another Indiana turnover. Indiana's offense is spectacular by a lot of the metrics. They're one of the worst turnover teams in all of college basketball.
That's really what's holding them back, are their turnovers. They've got a 22% turnover rate. That is second to last among major conference teams. Only Oregon State out of the Pac-12 has a worse turnover rate.
Here's Hayes matched up against Bryant.
See, I think Hayes has to drive that matchup at every opportunity. Got to switch here.
Happ down low, Anunoby helping out. Koenig from the corner. The three is good. Another one.
What great awareness by Ethan Happ. He was waiting for that double team to come. He went into the middle of the lane, and as soon as it came, he kicked it right back out to Koenig, who was ready to shoot. That's great basketball by Wisconsin.
So a dream start for the Badgers. Anunoby underneath the basket, cut off by Hayes, and the ball's taken away.
Not a strong move by OG Anunoby. He is stronger than that.
I thought he was going to have a dunk or a layup at minimum.
It's like he slowed down when he got close to the basket.
He's a guy they got to get going. Great catch, Happ. Double team comes, but he finds Koenig again. Can he make it three in a row? Yes. And Tom Crean calls a quick timeout. A nightmare beginning for the Hoosiers, and what a start for Wisconsin.
When you are on the road, Dave, you want to get off to this kind of start. Wisconsin has been brilliant, not only on the offensive end, but their defense has contained, and they've shown that they are not going to let Indiana into the lane. Ethan Happ goes into the lane, and as soon as OG Anunoby comes to double from behind him, he kicked it right back out. But if you watch his eyes, he saw that the whole way. And three guys around him inside. As soon as he wrestled the ball away from Indiana, kicked it right out to an open shooter, Bronson Koenig. Terrific awareness by Ethan Happ.
Well, Koenig, the beneficiary. Happ, just a sophomore, already with a steal and 2 assists. He is a big man who does a little bit of everything.
Well, he shoots almost 70% from the field. The only area where Ethan Happ doesn't excel is at the free throw line. He's shooting under 50%. And that's something that's got to change for him. But he's a very skilled player. You've seen him get rebounds on the defensive end and start the break by himself. You don't see a lot of big guys doing that.
Newkirk on the perimeter, and that one's stolen away by Showalter. Zach Showalter lays it in.
Indiana, I think, has been very prepared to play, and they have not come out ready for a fight in this one.
That's 4 turnovers already. They at least get a shot up this time, but it was a tough shot, no good.
Wisconsin does such a good job containing in their defense, and they've especially improved their last 7 or 8 games. Guarding the ball better, that doesn't put them in as many help situations.
1 dribble, long 2, no good.
Well, that's the kind of shot, really, that Nigel Hayes has been cutting out of his game. Kind of a fadeaway shot off the dribble.
Newkirk, first bucket for the Hoosiers.
Boy, it's amazing. You take a bad one, and that was, by Wisconsin standards, Nigel Hayes took a bad one, and you give up a layup on the other end.
Hayes against Bryant again. See if he tries to get him a little closer to the basket. Found Brown, 3. That one goes.
Right now, Indiana's over-helping. There's no reason to come off a shooter because Thomas Bryant is guarding one-on-one in the post.
And you know, Tom Crean and the Hoosiers all day long were preaching about not doing that very thing. Bryant, nice move for the big guy.
Well, that's where Thomas Bryant can be effective. Down in the low post. He can also knock down the 3 on the perimeter. I think he's got to spend a little bit more time in the post, being a difficult matchup there.
Yeah, I like that little 2-man game. Now along the baseline, Brown, too strong.
That's really the first stop that Indiana's gotten in this game.
Newkirk all the way, got fouled. So that will send us to our first timeout. Hoosiers trying to get it going. What a start for the Badgers, up 16-4.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by CenturyLink, connecting more than just places. CenturyLink, your link to what's next.
Shot selection, you guys mentioned it already, and Greg Gard told us it's not just the type of shot, it's the timing of the shot, having a feel for the score, time, and flow of a game. He said we can use our offense to get opponents out of rhythm, and I appreciated this analogy having just covered Wisconsin's football team yesterday. He said it's like in football when you're constantly going 3 and out. Your offense can't get in a rhythm, and you just keep putting your defense out on the field. So Wisconsin will need to sustain drives, if you will, sustain those possessions and really allow their offense to help their defense.
Allison's been on the Wisconsin tour in Dallas with the Cotton Bowl and the Badgers win in that big football game yesterday. Now here in Bloomington. At the free throw line, Josh Newkirk makes the first of 2.
Well, Allison's absolutely right. When Wisconsin moves the ball, just like Indiana, both these teams, when they move the ball from side to side, when they touch the paint, whether they throw it into the post or whether they drive it, they're going to get some good things. And every shot, with the exception of the one by Nigel Hayes, every shot that Wisconsin has taken has been an open shot and a step-in shot. And they've moved the defense and allowed the defense to make a mistake. So horn set, baseline screen by Koenig. Now he'll get a screen. Oftentimes they can get a switch on that. And they can post big guys or small guys. They can invert.
Another good pass from Happ, and Showalter misses the 3 this time.
He missed it, but it was a great look.
That's their first miss. Another near turnover. Saved inbounds by Robert Johnson. He's going to take Happ off the dribble, draw a foul. Well, our first 2017 NBA Wednesday doubleheader is a really good one. Tomorrow it'll be Bulls, Cavs, Jimmy Butler playing great against LeBron and the Cavs, 8 Eastern. Then out west in the Bay Area, Golden State hosts Damian Lillard and the Blazers, 10:30 Eastern. Those games will stream on the ESPN app. Number 21, Khalil Iverson comes in the game. He's taken a big step forward for Wisconsin.
Well, Khalil Iverson is a big-time athlete. You got to keep him off the offensive glass because he can get second shots. If he doesn't lay them in, he dunks them.
Indiana ball down 10. Just over 5 minutes in. Hoosiers trying to snap out of a little funk. And Indiana's got great wins on their resume. They've beaten Carolina. They've beaten Kansas. Bryant elevates and scores.
Nice job by Indiana getting the ball inside. It's a good three-point shooting team, but they don't want to take all perimeter jumpers. And they can score inside much more than they have been of late.
Crossover, long 2, no good. Hayes offensive rebound with a left hand, missed it.
Great pass.
Yeah, Blackman 3, in and out. What a follow by Morgan. Badgers seem like they're right back in the game.
Well, a quick possession for Wisconsin really led to this. And, you know, Allison Williams had mentioned Wisconsin's offense helping their defense. That was a poor offensive possession. They put their defense in a bad spot. They couldn't get back and get their defense set. And that's exactly what Allison was talking about.
Plenty of time on the shot clock. What a look! And there's Iverson above the rim, but he draws the foul.
Well, Ethan Happ has tremendous awareness when he catches the ball. Like, he is looking for his teammates as soon as he catches it. He was looking right over his right shoulder along the baseline. One, he was looking for where the double team may be coming from. You always want to look middle, but as he's dribbling, as soon as he saw that double team come, he was able to just give a little pocket pass right to Khalil Iverson. And boy, we talked about his athleticism.
Not a great shooter. He needs to get better for the free throw line because with all that athleticism, he's going to draw a lot of fouls.
He's a really good cutter and a really good offensive rebounder. And coming into this game, 40 of his 46 field goal attempts have come in the paint. So that's where you have to guard him. If he takes a jumper, that's a bonus for you.
Ryan will take a breather. Koenig also checked out for Wisconsin. Dimitri Trice, who's played really well as a freshman, may have a chance to handle the ball for the Badgers a little bit more. And Trice on the tap back has it. So the possession is extended.
Good repost.
Help came. Trice three. No good. Loose ball. Who's going to get it? Indiana.
And what a play by Josh Newkirk getting on the floor for that ball.
Blackman goes right by Showalter. The tip is good from the freshman Duron Davis.
Well, Showalter did a nice job putting his chest into Blackman, but Blackman didn't stop his drive.
What a crossover move. The runner too strong. There's Iverson. Offensive rebound. Had it stripped away. Hayes did not travel and rips the ball away.
Well, you better be strong in this one, Dave Fleming.
Showalter three is good with some contact on that one.
Those are those 50-50 balls. Indiana came up with one of them, and then Wisconsin got the next one.
That pull up, I think that's a long two. No good, not a great shot.
Well, he was wide open. Wisconsin went under on the ball screen, but you're right, that was on the first side. And now all of a sudden it's a time of possession issue, and after playing a long possession of defense, they got to do it again.
Hayes gets his first bucket of the night.
He's operating more in the low post. I mean, that was a step or two off the lane. But he's going in and posting rather than trying to prove he's a three-man. He's much better as a four, and he gets more favorable matchups at the four spot.
He's preseason Big Ten Player of the Year. Early on, he wasn't playing like it. Now he is. Down low. Davis is a big kid for a freshman. Good defense.
But Dimitri Trice does a nice job of keeping his eyes open, and eyes up, I should say, not open, eyes up when he's coming down the floor.
Kind of flat-looking shot from Vito Brown. That three is good.
Well, how about that concentration? I mean, Khalil Iverson was taking a swipe at that ball, and Blackman never flinched. Well, Indiana really worked hard to get back in this game, make it a two-possession game.
Iverson down low. I think Wisconsin will like that matchup. And a nice pass to Brown.
Like, great cut by Vito Brown. You know, it's so difficult to play against Wisconsin because they can post any one of the five players. You know, when Bo Ryan was the coach at Wisconsin, he always used to say the hardest thing to guard in basketball is one-on-one in the post. And that's what his swing offense did. Great guards gotten back more to a classic swing offense that they ran years ago.
Ugly miss from Robert Johnson. And it's working. Hayes, a little hesitation move. Good hands from Juwan Morgan.
Plenty of time.
Hayes draws a foul.
Well, Indiana worked awfully hard to get back into this one, undeterred by the body contact, and then Duron Davis was able to get to the offensive glass, and the great ball movement by Wisconsin, that's what's gotten them the lead.
super difficult workout or having a tough stretch with basketball, his trainer will yell or he'll remind himself of this quote, 5 million people on your back. It's his reminder that he's not just playing for himself, but an entire group of people.
Well, good stuff, Allison. It has been a big story around this Wisconsin team. And it's not just Koenig, but the guy who's at the free throw line, Nigel Hayes. This may be the most socially active, would be one way to put it, basketball roster in the country.
Socially active and socially aware.
Yeah.
And what do the powers that be in the NCAA tell us? That these are students who just happen to be athletes. And college campuses are supposed to be marketplaces of ideas. And you have to applaud these young men for using their voices and their positions. You may not agree. You may not agree with Nigel Hayes' stance, but I applaud him for making his case.
Wisconsin, with Koenig really leading the way, got off to a 13-0 lead in this game. Indiana has scratched their way back into it.
Well, Indiana's really not cutting right now. There's a lot of dribbling, and now they're getting a little bit better movement.
With the shot clock winding down, just kind of a heave, and it goes with the friendly roll for the freshman Curtis Jones.
Curtis Jones is an athletic combo guard. In the last ball game, he went 0 for 5, didn't play his best. And he really had to put that up because the shot clock was going down.
Indiana will take it. And Koenig, after a short rest, back in the game. They'll get Hayes a touch. Against Anunoby with a shot fake. And just kind of muscling his way close. Good defense that time, though.
So what a couple of athletes. OG Anunoby is a great athlete and a great defender. But I'm not sure he's been using his length to his benefit in the last several games. And I think he can be far better than he's been.
Yeah, they got to get him, however you define it, scoring, defense, making play, they got to get him going.
Deron Davis got to get the ball there. He was wide open.
Instead, Johnson draws the foul.
OG Anunoby going one-on-one in the post with Nigel Hayes, and Hayes shot a ton of free throws last year against this Indiana team. See how he stayed straight up there? Just his hands were up, his body was down, and he was just chest to chest with Nigel Hayes. Didn't foul him, made him take a difficult shot, and wound up getting the ball. But last year in the two games that Wisconsin and Indiana played, Nigel Hayes shot 32 free throws in those two games. Indiana combined, their entire team shot 28 in those two.
That's amazing.
It's remarkable.
Koenig, by the way, that's his second personal foul. Hayes will join him on the bench. Bronson Koenig, who's playing so well tonight, now out of the game. The lead is down to 5 with another free throw coming for Robert Johnson, who just had a nightmare of a game against Louisville.
He's been playing so well over his last 5 games, including that Louisville game. He's averaging over 15 a game and close to 3 made threes a game. That was a terrific drive he had on that last play to pick up that foul.
Biggest lead has been 14. It's down to 4. And we've still got almost 9 minutes to go in the first half.
The rest of this half for Indiana is going to be about getting stops.
With a foul.
So you let the ball go into the low post. Wisconsin has been getting the ball inside and operating out of the low post. Waiting for a double to come, passing out of it, getting a little split in the post. And there's what we were talking about, one-on-one in the post. And the very skilled, especially with his footwork, Ethan Happ, able to go for a conventional three-point play.
And this was the spot you mentioned. He's got to get better at the free throw line. Came up way short.
Ethan Happ has double-doubles in 5 of his last 8 games. Second in the league in double-doubles, only to Caleb Swanigan.
If he were shooting free throws better, those numbers would be much better. That's a nice little mid-range jumper from James Blackman.
James Blackman is a big-time scorer. Had 26 in that opening game against Kansas, and he's been picked off in the backcourt twice now. Thomas Bryant's got to get up there and call that out.
Yeah, somebody's got to help him. And meanwhile, Bryant playing with 2 fouls. Happ went right at him and scored.
Well, if you're not up to call those backcourt screens, your point guard or whatever your defensive guard back there is going to get his teeth rattled all game long.
Freshman Jones will use a screen from Bryant. Anunoby, shot fake, nice dish, Bryant. That was off of Bryant's head and out of bounds. A clean block, and then off of Bryant sends us to a timeout. Journey to the tourney game from Bloomington. Wisconsin with the lead.
post player and a better rebounder. But two excellent sophomore big guys. And, Dave, early on in this game, Wisconsin is playing the way the Badgers want to play. They don't have a single turnover. They've only fouled 3 times in the game. And really, the turnovers have been the difference in the game. Indiana's got 4 turnovers, and Wisconsin has scored 10 points off those turnovers.
Happ moving without the ball. He's got to love that matchup against Blackman, but he passed out of it to get Trice a look, and he missed the 3. Happ had good position inside, and Anobi finally tracks it down.
Well, Wisconsin was able, because of the back screen, to get a switch. And then James Blackman was guarding Happ. That meant he needed help.
And what a move from Blackman.
But he really needs to hunt his shot. The more good shots he works for, the better a team Indiana is.
That was a foul against Blackman. Well, coming up on Thursday, we're mentioning big men in the Big Ten. How about Caleb Swanigan and the year he's having? Tremendous. He and the Boilermakers in Columbus against Ohio State. That game at 7 Eastern, and then following that one, go to Southern California, UCLA, playing so well, although they did take their first loss in Eugene. Number 4 Bruins hosting Cal.
But look what it took to beat the Bruins in Eugene. How about that game? Dylan Brooks had 28.
Yeah.
And it was an extraordinary basketball game. And Cal is starting to play a lot better. So now that Ivan Rabb is healthy, he's had a couple really good games in a row. And Charlie Moore is a really good freshman guard. Little guy, but he's really good.
Yeah, Chicago kid from Big Ten country out to Berkeley. Showalter drives, reverse is good.
They can't give up the baseline that easily. James Blackman was almost like he looked like he was icing him and gave up the baseline. Showalter is a great story, isn't he? Former walk-on, now a starter in the Big Ten.
Son of a coach, his dad, who was his high school coach, played for Bo Ryan and Greg Gard. That's a foul against the Hoosiers. Tom Crean can't believe it.
James Blackman just kind of gave up this drive, and then Ethan Happ was able to shield off Juwan Morgan, so he couldn't get there to give a little bit of help.
So Blackman's out of the game, and Showalter, who made that drive, he came to Wisconsin as a walk-on, not really expected to be a big part in terms of minutes on the floor. He's a Big Ten starter for 2 years. And another tremendous move to the bucket for the sophomore Ethan Happ.
Looked like it was going to be a dribble handoff, and Ethan Happ kept it and went one-on-one against his matchup. And it's just a team that knows how to play. Like, the rhythm of the game right now belongs to Wisconsin. They're playing at their pace, and they're doing a really good job of containing this Indiana team when they're on the defensive end.
Johnson dribbled into a 2, came up way short. Happ controlled the rebound, tried to save it off of Indiana, and he did apparently. Morgan was standing out of bounds.
Watch Ethan Happ's right foot. He's out of bounds when he's touching the ball.
Hoosiers fans are not happy, and they got reason on that one. Well, Wisconsin has it back to Dimitric Trice. Koenig still on the bench with 2 fouls.
Indiana's really going to have to get through these screens. Be tough when they're going through these screens to be able to get up and over. Because if you've got a switch, then all of a sudden Wisconsin, they're really good at taking on the switch.
Trice, tough one with contact. Rebound to Anunoby.
Good outlet.
Trying to push the tempo a little bit. Runner blocked by Happ. Morgan, good.
A terrific job by Josh Newkirk when he got that deflected ball to look for Morgan, who made a really nice cut, a smart cut. Key to that matchup right now is Morgan on Happ.
Wow, that was good defense. Another tough shot.
Yeah, Freddie McSwain stayed down on that fake.
Newkirk blocked by Brown. And a whistle on a foul.
Indiana attacked the paint. A little bit of body contact. And then, but he went right through it. That's what Josh Newkirk did. Went right through that contact. Didn't finish the play. But oftentimes when you're strong through it, Indiana's such a good offensive rebounding team. That's yet another reason they don't want to turn the ball over. when you turn the ball over, and one, you don't get an initial shot, but you also don't get the opportunity to get fouled, and you don't get the opportunity for a second shot.
Another whistle. Foul against the Badgers, away from the ball. Alex Illikainen, who does not play big minutes for Greg Gard, commits the personal. Point lead for Wisconsin, Indiana ball. Anunoby, tough shot.
Really tough shot. Actually looked like he got fouled up top when Hayes brought those arms down.
Quickly to this end, good look from Hayes. Showalter short on the three.
Well, what a pass by Hayes.
Here comes Indiana, the high flyer, and Anunoby lays it in.
Well, how about Indiana hanging in there? This game looked like it might get away from the Hoosiers early, but they have fought back. Not many rebounds, offensive rebounds, steals, field goal percentage. And he's so steady. I mean, he just does it game after game. It's like he never has I know he has games where he may not play quite as well as another one, but he never has a bad game.
They get a touch on the perimeter.
Nice little flex cut to get Nigel Hayes in the low post against Anunoby.
And a good look for Hayes. He converts.
He has been a different player the last 8 games. He's gotten back more to who he is and what he does best.
It's really a great matchup. Two strong kids. Anunoby got cut off by Hayes. Newkirk three, in and out.
They didn't make it, but that was a great shot and a really good cut. He moved into the vision of OG Anunoby and was able to lose Dimitri Trice on the perimeter as a result of it.
Jordan Hill has not been playing a whole lot. He's on the floor for the Badgers.
His quickness can really help Wisconsin on the floor. Good help by Juwan Morgan.
Shot clock down to 4. Trice draws a whistle. Well, that's a foul against Indiana. We'll check in with Allison.
Greg Gard talking to his guys exactly about what we talked about earlier, and that's missed opportunities leading to baskets in transition for Indiana. They need to do a better job of moving the ball, getting post touches, and getting those shots later in the shot clock. They've been found to be out of position for rebounding. That's led to transition. So just like we talked about at the beginning of the show, Greg Gard is reminding his guys right now.
Well, so Wisconsin does such a good job when they do move the ball of making the defense make a mistake. And anytime you attack on the first side, you're going against a defense that hasn't moved. Second side, you're going to get a much better shot. You get to the third side against almost any defense, and your chances of getting a really good shot and your shooting percentage just shoots way up.
That's the second turnover tonight for Wisconsin. Not a great pass from Vito Brown, who I think it would be fair to say has struggled in his first half.
Well, Indiana's has taken away what he does well, and that's catch and shoot jump shots. Ron Davis needs to get the ball right away. He was wide open.
Indiana is working the ball side to side here.
Much better pace to this possession.
Davis under the basket.
A couple of Wisconsin players went to block that shot. Anytime you have multiple shot blockers, you open up the offensive glass.
Brown lost it on the way up. No foul. Advantage Indiana. Johnson open, way off. You could see that right from the moment it left his hand.
Looks like this may be talked about. But Indiana's keeping the ball. Ron Davis done a nice job of going after the ball. You couldn't tell on that one.
Yeah. I mean, everybody in here acted like it was a blatant missed call.
Yeah, that was two guys touching it exactly at the same time.
Indiana, this is close as they have been. They fell behind in this game 13-0. It was all Wisconsin in the early minutes.
And it didn't seem that close.
It really didn't.
But they've really fought back.
Brooklyn for the lead. 11-2 run. Hoosiers up for the first time in this game. Trice goes baseline, draws a foul and scores.
How tough is this freshman? Demetric Trice was a high school quarterback, an option quarterback. And if you want to see great guards' eyes light up, mention the name Demetric Trice. He really thinks highly of this young player, and that's exactly why. The little foot fake got Josh Newkirk off balance, and then he just blew by him baseline. What a great play by Demetric Trice.
Yeah, you recognize the name. His older brother Travis, of course, was such a big part of the Michigan State program. That free throw, no good. Badgers are not a great free throw shooting team.
They shoot under 70% as a team. Just got to get the right guys fouled, and that's why Ethan Happ needs to improve his free throw shooting, because he's going to get fouled throughout his career. He's going to shoot a lot of free throws before he's out.
Wisconsin's 1 of 6 at the line in this game. Not a great pass. Davis couldn't catch it.
That's a terrible post feed, because even if Deron Davis catches it, you're leading him toward, the angle's wrong. You're leading him toward the corner instead of leading him toward the basket. A post guy, you want to lead toward the bucket. And even if he were to catch that, there's nothing he can do with it.
Final minute plus. One thing for Wisconsin, things have changed since Koenig went to the bench with 2 fouls. Back down low, that spin move, missed one.
Here's Indiana on the run. Johnson's open.
3 was contested, maybe even deflected. Morgan, though, saved it in bounds. And here's the outlet. Iverson dunks it home.
Robert Morgan is open. Robert Johnson, excuse me. Johnson was open on that catch, but he wasn't open on the shot. And the bad shot led to a dunk on the other end. Indiana took the lead, but they've had a couple of loose possessions offensively. They played so hard on the defensive end. You know, Wisconsin just solid every possession.
Happ fouled him, count the bucket.
And Happ was there with his chest and kept his arms up. But Jawan Morgan did not stop. Oftentimes a player might stop when getting a jolt like that, but he didn't stop and just kept playing. Played through the contact. That's what a lot of coaches like to say. But he was just tough.
He's got a chance for a 3-point play, which would tie the game once again. Indiana has had to play from behind all night. Happ went to the bench. That was his second personal. Again, short on the free throw. Wisconsin can hold for the final look.
So this is where a blockout is really big for Indiana. If Wisconsin can get a second, if they get the first shot, the second shot can kill you. A
chance for a second, no. Morgan heaves, no good. The horn sounds, and Indiana, all things considered, has to be thrilled that this is just a 1-point deficit, because they were getting blitzed early in this one.
And you made the point, it was key that Bronson Koenig spent so much time on the bench with those 2 fouls.
Allison Williams with the Hoosiers head coach.
Thank you very much, Dave. Coach Crean, you trailed by as much as 14 in that first half. What changed?
Well, we didn't start on time for some reason. I mean, our digs were so slow. We were so non-existent with pressure, and they got wide open threes. It was like they were in the gym by themselves. But our intensity turned back up. Nobody panicked. It's a long game. The game's going at a good pace, and we just started playing a lot smarter.
You told us earlier that for Wisconsin, you felt like Ethan Happ was really key. How do you feel like you've played him so far?
Well, I think I wish we'd have got that second foul a little bit earlier, but he's the key. There's no question about it, because he can do so much through the post. But they got a lot of keys. That's why they're a great team. We've got to guard everybody equally well.
Tom, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, good stuff from Tom Crean. Halftime score, Wisconsin off to the big early lead, up by 1 over the Hoosiers. Carl Ravitch, Seth Greenberg in studio. Dave Fleming, Jay Billis, Allison Williams back with you. It really was remarkable how Indiana did it. That down and looking like maybe it just wasn't going to be their night.
They did a better job on the defensive end, although both teams shot 50%, and they stopped turning the ball over. They turned it over 4 times the first 3 minutes, only 2 times since then, the last 17. and then they started getting on the glass, and that's really going to be a key for this Wisconsin team in the second half. Can they keep Indiana off the offensive glass, and can they do a good job on their offensive glass and get some second shots?
All right, before we tip, let's check in with Allison Williams.
Well, Jay, just like you mentioned, Greg Gard said that the defensive glass was a concern for them, giving Indiana 13 second chance points, and part of that was because they were scrambling a bit in their transition defense. And like you talked before the game, the offense, the lack of execution not helping on the defensive end. So that was a concern. I also asked him about Bronson Koenig, who shot so well to start the game, played just 8 minutes in that first half with the 2 fouls. He's a senior. I said, did you consider leading him in the game? He said, no. I have confidence in my bench. I knew Indiana would make a run at some point. They're that good of a team, but I felt comfortable with where we were at to take him out of the game, and I felt comfortable enough with the other guys to lead them up to the task.
Well, catching and shooting, such a strength for Koenig for the Badgers, and it's been a huge part of their offense. Indiana, not so much.
And it's the kind of catch and shoots, though, because a lot of Indiana's catch and shoots have been contested, and especially Robert Johnson's shots. Like, Robert Johnson's a really good player, but he's taken a lot of contested shots in this game, and it's no wonder why he's 0-5 because of that.
Wisconsin has the ball. Koenig's pass was deflected out of bounds by Anunoby.
What a matchup of athletes Anunoby and Nigel Hayes is in the second half. They had a great battle in that first half. Talk about a fair fight down low. That is a couple of studs.
And Hayes, who, I mean, he has keyed this hot streak for Wisconsin, was relatively quiet in the first half. Double team, forced the turnover. Nice trail pass, and then it was stolen right back by Showalter. Here's Hayes in the open court to dunk it home.
And Indiana played such good defense. A great hedge by Thomas Bryant knocks the ball away. And the Hoosiers wind up, instead of getting a layup themselves or a foul, wind up giving up a layup because they coughed it up.
Newkirk, rebound Happ.
And Newkirk made a good move to get there, but he was going against a set Wisconsin defense. Didn't make the defense move at all before he attacked.
Happ has good position. Morgan hustled to tip the ball, and at least prevent an easy entry pass.
He fought hard to get around in front. Anytime you can get around in front, try to discourage that pass. You got to work really hard to do that.
And it probably tells you something about how Tom Crean thought he played in the first half, that he's starting here in the second half.
Morgan had a great first half and did it on both ends.
Tough shot, more good defense from Anunoby.
Good defense by Anunoby and a horrible shot by Nigel Hayes.
And then the offensive rebound, though. Koenig in the corner.
And he's got a matchup he can drive.
That's exactly what he did.
Good pass.
Brown, that's about the second or third time he's fumbled a pass with a chance for an open look. Hayes from the baseline, another tough one. Rebound Indiana.
That was a great defensive possession by Indiana.
Evan Morgan run the floor off the glass.
Well, it's no wonder after a really good defensive possession that Indiana has a little verve and they're in a position to run. Josh Newkirk went down, just because you're a guard doesn't mean you can't go down and rebound. The point guard rebounds it, outlets it, and the ball really never hit the floor until the end of the possession. That was really impressive.
Well, a delay of game warning against Juwan Morgan. You saw those numbers. He really is playing well tonight.
Well, he's had a couple of rough outings, Juwan Morgan, but he's shooting just under 60% from the field overall. And he's such a good rebounder and a good defender.
Guard, you were talking about Newkirk, who's defending Showalter. He's got 6 rebounds himself in this game. How about Happ with a foul?
Well, Happ just caught that ball and saw the opening. He's so quick with his feet. You don't see many guys 6'10" able to do this. Just saw the opening in the middle and goes right back to that right hand. This young man can really play. He's really a skilled player, but he's not a skilled scorer. Like, he's not a type of guy that's going to score from outside the paint. All but 3 of his shots this year have come inside the paint. It's remarkable.
It is remarkable. He has never attempted a 3 in his Wisconsin career, not one. Crossover, Newkirk, and then try to get fancy with the pass. It's off of Happ. Indiana keeps it. Hoosiers have led for 25 seconds total in this game. Happ got a hand on it, and he's hustling after it. Shot clock is down to 4. That's an offensive foul. And Tom Crean's got to be careful.
I'm not a big fan of the explanation to the coaches. You made the call, let's go. You can see right here a little handoff, and yeah, because the handoff wasn't made, I'm not sure that can be seen as an illegal screen. How can you set an illegal screen when you've got the ball? Yeah. You can go. Zach Showalter did not have legal guarding position. That's a bad call. It's a really bad call.
Number 15 in for Indiana, Zach Carlos.
I mean, he called it as a player control foul, but the player had the ball. So in order for it to be a foul, that would have been a foul if he handed it off and then took Showalter out. But he's allowed to keep the ball. Just because he faked out the official doesn't mean it's a bad play. That was just, I don't know whether, Pat Driscoll is a great official. He might have been explaining to Tom Crean, look, I screwed that up. I can't take it back. There's nothing I can do now.
I want to make this hand signal and we'll move on. Koenig, did he get called for an offensive foul? Yes, he did.
So just use that off arm on the step back.
That's his third. That's big.
Just when that arm goes out, even if it wasn't a ton of contact, the arm going out is enough to pick up that foul. And that's his third. Now he's got to go sit again.
They were a different team with him on the bench in the first half.
Yeah, with him out, what were they, -5 in points?
Anunoby, at best, they were. Against Iverson, good move. Anunoby had it stripped away.
Well, you've really got to be strong with the ball because Wisconsin goes after it. They're not a high turnover forcing team. When you bring that thing down, especially inside, they really go, I can't leave the ball.
Yeah, they left him wide open. He's one of the best three-point shooters in the conference.
Well, even if it's not your man, not your matchup, you want to switch off. You can never leave the ball.
Bryant, the big man, trying to cross over. That was a near turnover. And then off of Wisconsin, apparently. Hoosiers keep it. Our Sonic showdown. Two very efficient offensive teams. They play different styles, but they're both really good on the offensive end.
Yeah, pace is number of possessions, basically. So Wisconsin scores a lot of points because they're very efficient with the number of possessions that they have, especially the last 8 games. Wisconsin is scoring like 1.2, 1.3 points per possession. And that's a remarkable number. That's a really good number.
You do have to take the warm-up off. Deron Davis. I like the way you put it in the first half. Wisconsin, look, the score doesn't necessarily reflect. They can be playing the game they want even in a high-scoring game.
Yes.
Sometimes they get stereotyped. It has to be a low-scoring game for it to be the type of game Wisconsin wants. That's not necessarily the case.
Well, they want to run when they've got an advantage, but when they don't have it, they're going to make you guard them.
Roberts almost traveled. Davis backing his way in against Nigel Hayes. Tough shot.
Tough shot. I thought he got fouled, too. There was a hand in his back. But that's a much tougher play than he made. He had a good game against Louisville, but it could have been better. He had 8 points, 8 rebounds in his first start. And he is a big, strong post guy that can really get some things done if he's aggressive looking to get the ball.
Here's Trice. Dribbled into that jumper, airballed it. But a nice friendly carom to Iverson. Shot clock did not reset, so it's down to 5. Hayes, man, he has been taking those kind of shots all game. Iverson, offensive rebound, missed the putback.
Well, Wisconsin had opportunities. Iverson was going to work on the glass. He looks like he should be playing football.
How about Anunoby?
Well, one of the few times where Wisconsin doesn't get back and get its defense set.
Indiana was ready to take advantage of it. That's a foul against the Hoosiers, a hold against Hayes.
OG Anunoby has done a great job defensively on Nigel Hayes. And in transition, this young man is an athlete. Nobody comes over from the weak side. He makes him pay.
Is out indefinitely with a knee injury, but Coach Crean said he's Coach Hartman on the bench, and he's got a number of responsibilities, including ball side defense, out of bounds defense, free throw line stunts, and he's been a really good conduit for Thomas Bryant as well out there, but they certainly miss his leadership on the court, but Hartman doing as much as he can to help his teammates off it.
I mean, it is kind of interesting how they've turned him into an extra coach, basically. That was a three that was way, way off from Illikainen. Down low, the big freshman Davis against Happ, using that size with a foul.
Indiana is punching the ball inside instead of just relying upon the three-point shot. They got the ball into the big freshman Deron Davis, who is one-on-one in the post, and a nice drop-step move against Ethan Happ. And Colin Hartman must have been responsible for that one. He's in charge of screaming.
He's going to take credit for it. Among his coaching responsibilities, you be the screamer. They do miss him.
Oh, they miss his ability to shoot it. And he knows how to play. A guy that can really move the ball and knock down open shots.
Chance for the three-point play and the tie, and there it is. He's looking coach-like on the sideline.
Wisconsin has not had a fluid offensive possession in a while. They need to move the ball and get something going to the basket, get it into Happ.
Koenig back in with 3 fouls. That ball kicked by McRoberts.
And we haven't seen much of James Blackman of late. And Josh Newkirk, who had some rough moments. Tom Crean going with this lineup. This lineup has played some pretty darn good defense.
Badgers have missed their last 4 from the field. The three. Short. Rebound Johnson.
Indiana fortunate. That's what Wisconsin wanted, was pick and pop.
Right by the defense. Hoosiers lead.
That's the Rob Johnson that Indiana wanted to see in the first half.
To 2 run for Indiana. Koenig 3, good.
Boy, it's amazing. You put your hand down, and Bronson Koenig is going to be able to see the basket, and he is not shy about pulling the trigger. What a great shot.
It's his first basket since the first 3 minutes of the game. Right back into Davis against Brown. Another bucket for the freshman.
Indiana has taken the lead because of its play in the paint.
Here's Happ trying to answer inside, cut off. Good double team. Didn't panic. Shot clock winding down. They'll try it again. Happ spins, draws a foul.
But Ethan Happ went right into the chest of Deron Davis and just knocked him back. That was a strong move by the sophomore because Davis was in good position. Watch how he takes his shoulder and thrusts it right into him. Boom. And just knocks him back a little bit, and he brought that left arm down.
Happ, I don't know if there's a cut. Yeah, so you can see on the right knee. He is the free throw shooter here.
Not sure whether that's blood or just the red from his uniform bleeding down.
Maybe that's what they said. That might be what it is. Because otherwise, I think they'd make him clean that up. It's the first.
Anytime you play against Wisconsin, every possession is so important.
Got Got them both. Every free throw is important against the Hoosiers playing here at Assembly Hall. Back to a 1-point lead for Wisconsin.
Juwan Morgan out front running the point. He started at point guard in one of Indiana's first exhibitions.
He doesn't look the part, and you don't think of him that way. Davis got fouled. Is that against Happ? It was on Brown. So Happ was there. That's good news for Wisconsin. Just the first on Brown. Thursday on ESPN in the Big Ten in Columbus. Caleb Swanigan and Purdue on the road 7 Eastern, and then when that one's done, out to Pauley Pavilion. UCLA, number 4 ranked team in the country, with their spectacular freshman Lonzo Ball hosting the Bears from Berkeley.
But UCLA has so many different weapons. You mentioned Lonzo Ball is one of the not only best freshmen in the country, best players, but how about TJ Leaf, Aaron Holiday, Isaac Hamilton, that's not even mentioning Bryce Alford. So they basically have 6 guys that could start for them in a heartbeat and lead their team in scoring in any given game.
TJ Leaf, whose dad was a great player in this state, has a lot of ties to Indiana. So playing for UCLA and playing really well. Shot clock at 10.
Side pick and roll. Now they're going to go with a high screen.
And Morgan just heaves one up. Rebound Badgers.
And not a great offensive possession for Indiana, but the Hoosiers have really been looking to pound the ball inside. And they've had some really good success doing that. Zach Roberts has done a nice job on Bronson Painter. Staying in front, using his length.
He's a walk-on, although he was a scholarship player at his former school for Vermont. That 3 no good.
Indiana's got a number of good rebounders. Ananobi, Davis, Morgan.
He's now matched up on Johnson, which means Showalter on Davis. They're going to try to switch that away.
Got plenty of time.
Davis just muscling his way inside. That's what you're talking about. They'll go back to the free throw line. Using the inside game has really gotten the Hoosiers back in this thing, and they are. All right, thanks, Carl. 51-50, Wisconsin with a 1-point lead on the road with 11 plus to go. Deron Davis, the freshman, doing a lot of work down low.
Well, Deron Davis, the big man from Aurora, Colorado, 2 times Colorado's Mr. Basketball, and he's Indiana's Mr. Paint in this second half, and the Hoosiers. Look at that fake. That was a terrific fake. He's shown great poise inside in addition to strength. He's a power player, and he's been really aggressive in this game and looking to establish a paint presence. And then when he gets the ball, taking a big step into the lane and putting a lot of pressure on the defense. He's had a really, really good game.
One more at the line after he missed the first. He makes that one. We're tied again. It was 13-0 Wisconsin at the start of the game.
Hey, early on in this game, you were thinking about now, I've never seen a shutout in basketball, have I? But Indiana really calmed down.
Koenig has been red hot from the outside.
Can't go under a screen with Bronson Koenig. If you go underneath, he is looking to shoot it. Even if you put your arm down, he's looking to shoot it.
5 for 5 from 3 for Bronson Koenig. Foul trouble has limited his minutes. There's a quick release 3, too strong from McRoberts, but good hustle from Juwan Morgan.
Bronson Koenig helped out on that little drive, and that opened up McRoberts for that shot. It was a good shot, he just missed it, but Morgan is such a good offensive rebounder. You got to put a body on him because he can cover ground.
Ananobi against Hayes, had it slapped away.
Amazingly good hands by Nigel Hayes to knock that away. That was a quick move by Ananobi.
Thought he was getting ready to score. Quick hands from McRoberts. You made the point. He's played, in general, pretty good defense.
He's done a good job. He stayed in front.
Shot clock at 10. Hayes has had a tough time on this end of the floor.
He stayed out on fakes with him.
Price, 3, too strong. Good defense that time from Indiana.
Indiana's had some solid defensive possessions. They've established more of a defensive rhythm in the second half. They certainly didn't have it early. Nigel Hayes has not had the kind of game he's had over the last days. He has really struggled in this one. You got to give OG Anunoby a lot of credit for it.
Shot clock at 4. Johnson, 3, good!
Well, Johnson struggled mightily in that first half, and he took a ton of challenge shots. But he really stepped into that one with a lot of confidence as the clock was going down.
He had missed 11 three-pointers in a row. Until that one, that's a foul from the freshman Davis. Indiana's just shooting lights out in this second half.
Who do you got Monday night when Clemson takes on Alabama for the national championship?
Well, I mean, it's hard to pick against Alabama. Now, the chaos, we were talking with both of these coaches about it. So unusual leading into a game like that to have a coaching change, new offensive coordinator.
Right.
It's not like it's a guy who hadn't been around, but it kind of makes you wonder where Alabama would be more vulnerable than usual.
You know, I did not in a million years think that Clemson would shut out Ohio State.
They played so well in that game. Happ scores.
But if you are standing straight up, you've got to get down and low because Ethan Happ is going to get lower than you. And he does such a good job of identifying a matchup that he can take advantage of.
Mr. Efficiency, he's missed one shot officially from the field. That's a foul.
Basketball is a shoulders game, and whoever's shoulders are lower is going to win. And whose shoulders were lower here? It was Ethan Happ's. And he just goes right into the body of Thomas Bryant, knocks him back to create that space. So Ethan Happ is a terrific player.
What a move by Bryant, the big man.
Wanted to show that he could give it right back to him. Great drive.
Tied up again, and good hustle from Happ, but then the ball squirts by Showalter.
Well, give a lot of credit to McRoberts on that play. Defensively, he has done a really good job on Bronson Koenig. You don't see Koenig turn the ball over often. Did a great job of staying in front, and OG Anunoby knocks that ball away. Nice reaction by Thomas Bryant, putting a little emotion into it. Now James Blackman back on the floor. And he's got to look to be aggressive offensively. Doesn't mean in any way he's going to be selfish taking shots. But if he's aggressive, that opens up things not only for him, but for his teammates as well.
They've done a lot of this good work in the second half without him.
Well, they've had to do it defensively, and he's not one of their best defenders.
Looking for a shot. Trice wouldn't let him get one off.
Shot clock winding down.
Roberts down to 2. Had to get it off. Rebound Brown. Not sure Hayes was expecting a pass. Koenig from the free throw line came up short.
He really stopped on a dime there, but you got to give McRoberts a ton of credit for the defense he's played on him.
He's earned a lot of minutes in the second half. Trying to feed the post. Anunoby to the free throw line. And we call it a journey to the tourney game here in Bloomington. To the Big Ten tourney at minimum. Tie game.
When North Carolina had his national championship team. They lost their first 2 conference games in the ACC, and everybody had their hair on fire. And then they kind of settled down and ripped through the rest of the league and wound up going all the way to the national championship. And funny things happen after exams too.
I'm with you. You got finals, you got the break where kids look forward to even just a day off, a chance to go home. And a lot of these results in the ACC with Carolina and Duke, in the Big Ten with Minnesota going to Purdue and getting a win, Nebraska winning here.
And a lot of times too, it's added that the teams that you're playing are way better than people think. Nebraska's, they've been playing very well.
Really well. Hayes with a foul.
And Nigel Hayes only shot 2 free throws going into this one and has not had one of his better games. But he went right down into the low post against Anunoby and was able to get possession right on the block. Most of the time when he's been catching it off the block. Then he's got to face up, put the ball on the deck, dribble once or twice before he can get anywhere near the paint.
Yeah, he did. He shot so many free throws against Indiana last year. That's just his 3rd of this game. He got the friendly roll to complete the three-point play. Moving up the charts in so many categories. 6th all-time scorer in Wisconsin hoops history.
Well, he scores, he rebounds. He's one of the top assist guys among big guys in the country.
That was a travel from Freddie McSwain.
Got to come to a jump stop. If you're not going to jump stop, keep your dribble and keep going. Just because you get in the lane doesn't mean you have to stop there. You can dribble out to the other side.
I think that 11 turnover number for Indiana overall has been a positive. They were sloppy early. Since then, they've basically protected it.
Yeah, they turned it over 4 times in the first, 3 minutes of the game, give or take. And
since then, a lot better. Hayes looking for position. That one kicked out of bounds.
you know, one of the reasons you want to make hard cuts, you want to drive it when you have the opportunity on a reversal, is from here on out, on every common foul, you're going to shoot free throws. And if you can put the defense in a position to foul, that can be a big play. If you can get it over the back on a block out, those are free throws.
And he'll be closely guarding the inbound pass. Happ against Bryant. Happ found a way to score.
He just has great feet. His footwork is impeccable.
17 points for the sophomore Ethan Happ to lead the way for Wisconsin.
Happ doing a good job keeping Thomas Bryant able to get that high-low pass. What a move. Oh. What a spin move in the post by OG Anunoby. So I think you look to go back to Hayes in the post.
Happ was isolated one-on-one against Bryant. Brown did well to find Showalter. Takes it all the way in.
Well, Zach Showalter, he just plays his way. Great shot fake and straight line drive.
He is a better athlete. For a guy who's a former walk-on and gets sort of labeled that way, he's a good athlete.
He's a really good athlete. His teammates used to say it was his first couple of years that he led the nation in rim grabs.
Bryant, who looked a little gimpy making his way onto the offensive end. Shot clock is winding down. I don't know if he knows it. Blackman tried to use the glass.
A couple of bad possessions offensively by the Hoosiers. Tom Crean's got a slew of subs waiting to come in.
Showalter, catch and shoot, just what you were talking about.
What
the
a
drive and the shot.
And a great pass by Ethan Happ. Not a great closeout by James Blackman, but boy, Ethan Happ has shown great awareness with the ball and passing it. That was a great pass.
I think he's been the best player on the floor tonight.
ESPN's exclusive presentation.
Yes, that could not have been easy to take for Bryant.
So he's on the bench for how long? We'll see. 10-3 run for the Badgers. Up by 7.
Wisconsin really packing their defense in. They're not really going past that three-point line. Trying to keep it compact.
Happ read that pass and jumped right in the passing lane, almost stole it away.
But how about Ethan Happ? He's got 4 assists in this game. All 4 of them have gone for three-point makes. And when he has found an opening, he has gotten it to an open teammate that's ready to shoot.
Last year as a freshman, he led the Big Ten in steals. That's usually a little guy's stat.
And part of that's a great footwork that he uses defensively to break contact and get around in front.
Morgan got pushed by Hayes, so that's a foul against Wisconsin and free throws for the Hoosiers. We were talking about the matchup. 8 Eastern on Monday on ESPN. College football playoff national championship game presented by AT&T Clemson. It looks so good. Deshaun Watson, who might have had the best performance against a Nick Saban team in this era of Alabama football last year in the championship game. The rematch, Monday, 8 Eastern. It'll stream live on the app. Lots of ways to watch it. And it promises to be a heck of a game.
The idea that we've got a rematch of a game that was so good a year ago, and a number of the players that played in that game are playing again. Heck, remember, Alabama had to have an onside kick in that game.
It kind of got them going. Without that, maybe they don't win that game.
It's really it was an amazing play, and just a great game.
Some rematches, it's like, I don't know. This rematch, you want to see this one.
No question.
Some advice from the stands behind us. Free throw good from Juwan Morgan. 5-point lead, Wisconsin with the ball.
This game now is becoming about stops for Indiana. And on the road, can Wisconsin run good offense and score, get fouled, or both?
So tough to stop him inside. They did that time.
Well, there's a lot of contact there.
It's an unorthodox lineup for the Hoosiers on the floor.
Now Davis was open again in the post. Morgan didn't give it to him. They're going to run some offense now.
Trying to get open down low, calling for the ball. They bounce it into him. Knocked away, kept with it. No good. Tip ball. Indiana has it. New shot clock. Hoosiers fans here at Assembly Hall getting a little antsy. 3 minutes to go.
Good cuts.
And a spin move. No shot, a foul on the floor.
Those cuts opened it up. Really good basket cuts by Indiana to open it up for Deron Davis.
And the fourth foul against Happ. Final 3 minutes when we come back.
In the conference, two of the best teams in the country, really. Both nationally ranked. You know, Indiana's got 2 wins over top 5 teams. They started the season out beating Kansas, and they beat North Carolina here in Assembly Hall.
Probably the best pair of wins for any single team. I think you could certainly make that case. But they've lost 2 in a row, in danger of making it 3 straight for Tom Crean's team. Dropped the Hoosiers to 0-2 at home in league play. Rebound Karams off of Wisconsin. That's a break. And meanwhile, what an opportunity for Greg Gard's team. Here in Bloomington, Sunday at Purdue. I mean, if you the 3 ranked teams in the league right now are Wisconsin, Indiana, Purdue. They could walk out this week with 2 road wins against the other 2 ranked teams in league.
Well, one thing that you're going to have to do if you're going to win at Indiana and at Purdue, you're going to have to rebound. Because Purdue's got some big bodies. That's a foul there.
Yeah, another one against Hayes.
And that puts Morgan at the free throw line because Wisconsin's over the limit.
The inability to get the rebound on the missed free throw extended that possession. Now Morgan has a chance to cash it in.
You know, Wisconsin has won the 3-point battle, but Indiana's winning the free throw fight.
That's the second. Total reversal of what happened in the 2 matchups last year between these 2 teams, which are both great games, came down to the end. And it was Wisconsin who dominated from the line in those matchups.
Indiana couldn't keep him off the free throw line, especially Nigel Hayes, who shot 32 free throws by himself in those 2 games. 22 in 1 game.
One more coming for the sophomore, Juwan Morgan.
It's quiet in here.
So quiet when an Indiana player's at the line. And now it'll get loud.
A 2-man game with Happ and Koenig.
Great catch, the quick move, missed it.
Well, Wisconsin got exactly what they wanted. They ran the two-man game, kicked it to Vito Brown, and then got a post from Ethan Happ.
A three would tie it. Davis down low, knocked away, and a foul, I think, against Indiana. Koenig got knocked into the Hoosiers bench. All right, so we have our answer.
It is a team control foul, so you don't shoot free throws on that because there was no clear possession. It was essentially what in the NBA they used to call a loose ball foul.
So it wasn't clear that Koenig had, if he had had the ball, was along the sideline, got knocked out of bounds, okay, that's different, but this will mean no free throws, just the ball for the Badgers.
Here's the ball knocked away. And they're saying that Koenig, when he went out of bounds, did not have possession of the ball when he was fouled. He had possession of the ball right there, but that was after the foul was called.
So that feels like a break for Indiana. It was definitely close. It was almost to me like he was starting to dribble along the sideline with the ball loose.
Happened fast. That was a tough one.
It did.
It happened right in the corner.
Every possession so huge now. 2:04 to go. Indiana has been playing from behind almost the entire game.
I think Ethan Happ's got to touch the ball right now. He's got a matchup that going against Deron Davis that he can drive.
And he will drive right by Davis to score. Nobody is back, and Morgan didn't want to pick the ball up, start that count. Finally, somebody comes and helps him out. Timeout, Tom Crean. He wants Blackman in the game.
They need some more offense back in the game.
So we will take a quick timeout and be back right after this. Badgers on the road, leading by 5.
Hayes.
Here we go, final 126 in Bloomington. Wisconsin's got the 5-point lead. Indiana does have the ball with one timeout remaining. Both teams in the bonus. And Indiana, next foul against Wisconsin, will be shooting double bonus, 2 free throws. They do get James Blackman back in the game.
And Indiana's got to get into something quickly. There's 16 seconds left on the shot clock. And you have to expect that Wisconsin's going to be switching some exchanges.
And they'll be looking to drive it, almost lost it. In the corner, pinned by Brown. Now Bryant, shot clock's at 5. Thomas Bryant, a runner, tough shot, no good. Rebound, guess who? Ethan Happ.
How about that rebound by Happ? Not only playing defense, but then getting after that ball with 2 hands.
He defended Bryant all the way across the lane and got back to grab that rebound. Indiana's not fouling.
They have to have a stop here. That is imperative.
Now it was almost like they wanted to foul Happ. He's not a great free throw shooter.
But a matchup you can drive here.
He gave it up though. The 3 is good.
Wow.
Huge shot that might decide it.
What a big shot by Vito Brown.
Who has not played particularly well. The turnover, Hayes for the exclamation point. No. Blocked from behind by Bryant.
You got to give Bryant a lot of credit for not giving up on that play. But how about that shot by Vito Brown? You help off a 3-point shooter on a drive. And all you have to do is stunt, help off a little bit. And he was prepared. You know, you'd mentioned that he bobbled a few on the catch. But Juwan Morgan just gave a little bit of help toward the drive and came off that 3-point shooter and was made to pay for it. That was a really well executed at the end of the game by Wisconsin on both ends of the floor, offense and defense. This is a really good Wisconsin team.
A winning play in a place that is so tough to win, and yet Indiana looks like, barring a miracle, they're going to fall to 0-2 in conference play at home.
Well, the one that really hurts was the loss to Nebraska.
This one would have made that feel a lot less painful. Instead, Koenig makes the first, earns the second.
Bronson Koenig didn't play much in that first half. He had 9 points in 8 minutes. And Greg Gard deciding with those 2 fouls to keep him out because he had told Allison Williams the confidence he had in his bench, but also didn't want, if they could keep it close or keep the lead, you'd rather have only 2 fouls on your star guard in the second half so he could play full throttle.
Well, it was a 3-point game, was it not? 66-63, and Indiana had the ball, I think, with the deficit 3. 7-0 run for the Badgers, in essence, to close this game out.
This is a terrific road win for Wisconsin. Huge. And it's a Wisconsin team that hasn't really developed a ton of depth off the bench yet. They've been playing largely with 7 guys.
Now let me ask you this. It was still a long way to go in conference play. Does this make the Badgers the clear favorite in the Big Ten now?
That's a good question. It may. Yeah, I think it may.
I mean, for a league that felt so wide open, Johnson goes to the basket. Johnson will have won 9 games in a row, a huge win in Bloomington. It also checks that box. Nigel Hayes was telling us before the game, this is one of the few places he has not had a win in his career.
Hadn't won here or at Rutgers or at Michigan State.
Correct. Knives down for not having their phone with them. They actually talked to each other and had a great night. It will not be a great night for the Hoosiers and their fans. And you know how people around here are, and in a great way because they love their hoops, they love their college basketball.
But Indiana's they're not far away. If they can cut down 3 or 4 turnovers a game, get 3 or 4 more stops, and that is not outside of their capabilities. Really, at the end of the day, turnovers are what killed Indiana in this one. And they didn't execute at the end of the game on the offensive end, but they had to play from behind most of the game.
Yep.
And it takes a tremendous amount of energy to make comebacks. And they got it back to a 1-point game at halftime, but they were never able to establish what they wanted to establish. In a large measure, is because of some of the loose possessions they had and some of the turnovers.
First 3 minutes, last 3 minutes, totally dominated by Wisconsin.
Well, a couple of huge plays by this young man, Zach Showalter. Wisconsin gets contributions from just about everybody in their top 7. And if you look up and down the line, they did get tremendous contributions and important ones from just about every player. Might not have been their best game. Like, it wasn't Nigel Hayes' best game, but he made some really important plays, especially down the stretch.
Yeah, I thought Showalter was terrific. Contested 3 goes in. That will not make Indiana feel much better. Final horn sounds. Hopefully Robert Johnson's okay. What a win for Greg Gard and Wisconsin. They are 2-0, undefeated in Big Ten play. The Hoosiers are 0-2, and they got some work to do. 75-68, the final score. Huge win for Wisconsin, for Allison Williams and Jay Billis. Dave Fleming saying so long. Super Tuesday continues with Texas A&M Kentucky coming up next from Lexington. For now, we're going to send you back to Carl Ravitch in the studio.
FedEx final statistics.